right. Welcome to the Football Frame of Mind podcast.
This meeting is being recorded.
God damn, that late thing, man. I can't stand that late thing on Zoom, man. It's so like I push the button, it's supposed to say record, right? But I digress, man. Welcome to the Football Frame of Mind podcast, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Cam, that's Brandon. Today we just gonna recap week week 3 of college football and recap the NFL this week, man. So like I said, two-part episode, man. But just be looking out for both parts, you know what I'm saying? Or we might just do one video and just watch the whole thing. Either way, you're gonna get the best content that we can provide. But before we even get started, man, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, man. It's really good to be back on here. Feels like it's been quite a while.
Yeah, man. I mean, we did some videos though. We keep going.
Yeah, we did. I guess sometimes we just get so caught up in everything else going on. We hop back on here and it feels like forever.
Oh yeah, man. Nah, man. Like I said, man, we want to keep making sure that we stay current with everything, man. So we're gonna start with we'll start with college since they're a little bit ahead of the NFL in terms of weeks. So we'll start with college, man. So what do you think about this week, man? What's your crazy storyline, man? How you feel about the recap, man?
I don't know how you're gonna feel about this one, but I think my big storyline is what is going on in Tuscaloosa and why are we not blowing out South Florida for one. And now we're starting to have quarterback controversy, trying to figure out who's going to be the guy. And I don't know, man.
All right, so I'll answer your first one, right? Did you see the quarterbacks that was playing, bro? Nah, bro, they ain't it. Did you see the quarterbacks that was playing, bro? Like, nah, man, they ain't it. I'm sorry, man, they are not it. And look, it's not a controversy no more because Nick Saban came out and just said like Jalen Milroe's the one. He's quarterback one. But I'm like, duh. Like, why would you? Why would you even?
Yeah,
like,
why we didn't clarify this before? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Why would you not play him? Because you gonna look. My whole thing is you're gonna tell this man after losing to Texas, he feel like it's his fault and he just want to make up for it, right? You're gonna tell this man, oh, we just gonna go with the other two quarterbacks after I done had to hear all spring, all summer, coming in a fall camp that I'm not the guy. Nobody believes in me, and you gonna bench me after beating these dudes out over 3 seasons of a year, spring, summer, and fall, and you're gonna sit here and tell me that I'm not gonna play because you want to see what they can do. Obviously, they can't do nothing if I'm starting and nobody believes in me. And then he's talking about he benched him because he didn't respond to it. I wouldn't respond well either if you tell me that these dudes is starting. They can't do what I can do. I'm faster than them. I got a way bigger arm than them. So I'm already ahead of the curve. You know what I'm saying? It's literally my first year starting as an Alabama quarterback. Okay. And I mean, I'm speaking as Jalen, as if Nick Saban was talking to me, like I'm already better than them. You know what I'm saying? Athletically, maybe they might be smarter in terms of the playbook or whatever. But when the play breaks down, can't nobody do what I can do. So it's no reason why it should even be a problem. This is my first year starting as a quarterback there. In high school, I mean, it was just me and a bunch of other guys. We go as I go. So if I feel like running for 200 yards, that's what's going to happen if we want to win the game. If I got to pass for 500 yards, if we win the game, we win the game, right? So there wasn't a scheme for him to really, really learn, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
get it. It's learning curves, right? You got to read coverages. Shoot, even the best quarterbacks got to learn. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I just didn't agree with him not playing the whole game. Like maybe that was a game to see who quarterback number 2 was, but going into
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss, there was no question that he was going to be the guy after what I saw. Now, look, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what they saw in Tyler Buckner or whatever his name is, but bro, that's not a Division One quarterback. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, dog. If Chris Winkie can come back and play at 27 at Florida State, this dude don't need to be playing, bro. Like, no, he don't need to be playing, man. Like, I just
Mm-hmm.
don't agree with it. Now, the young fella, Ty Simpson, looked real good, bro. I mean, he looked like a true freshman. His eyes was wide, but I mean, that's okay because he's a true freshman, dude. He was in high school last year, dude. Like, dude, you're not gonna expect him to do that, and it'd be crazy as hell for Nick Saban to even consider putting a true freshman starting against Ole Miss. Crazy,
Mm-hmm.
crazy. No. So I just didn't agree with it. I don't know what's going on. They said they had a players only meeting because the game itself was trash. Okay. The game itself was trash. Like I'm not even gonna go into that. Like it was trash. Everybody knew it was trash. Shoot, my son probably knew it was trash. Like, so no. That was just a really, really bad game to watch to even be at. You know what I'm saying? So I hear a lot of people, like, oh, we mad or whatever. Remember I told you last week that they
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, we pissed off because we lost to Texas. Then why is it 3-3 going into halftime with South Florida, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Don't sound like y'all was that pissed off to me. And you don't
Mm-mm.
get the excuse that it was like a early game. So it's like big noon kickoff or something, so 11 in the morning. Nah, bro. That was like 2:30 in the afternoon. You had plenty time to wake up. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I mean, look, it's gonna be cool with Jalen back there, but I don't know. Like I said, my expectations is week to week. So right now, I don't feel like this is a championship team. Like I still say, my prediction is for them to go to the playoffs, but they got a lot of work to do, bro. A whole lot. And it's crazy because this is a year that's down for the SEC, bro. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
LSU took a L. We took a L. So you looking around like, yo, this, and not to mention these are losses out of conference. So we ain't even started conference play yet. But if
Mm-hmm.
we were to start the playoffs tomorrow, we on the outside looking in, both of our teams. So
Mm-hmm.
we really gotta either fix the offensive line or start shifting, putting some young players in there, man, because it's a lot of players that have been at Bama for a long time. You know what I'm saying? We got a center. His name's Darian Dalcourt. He's been there since like 2018, 2019. That's a long time for a football player.
He got that extra year of eligibility from COVID then.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, so many players done passed him by, man. I mean, countless dudes getting drafted. I mean, Alex Leatherwood started as a true freshman. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just different dudes, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? I'm actually proud of the defense, bro. If I had to pick as a recap for that game, I
Mm-hmm.
would have to say I'm proud of the defense, bro. I mean, it's not 2016 level. It's not even 2020 level for real. But it's enough to win some SEC games, I'll tell you that much. As long as you score like
Mm-hmm.
40 points, 35 points, you know what I'm saying? Hell, give me 28. Give me 28 at least. That defense can win you some games. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we got some good stuff in the back end. We got some really good linebackers. But I mean, up front, we got to win up front, man. That's the only question mark I have is up front, like the defensive line. That's it. But
Mm.
everything else is cool, man. We got studs back there. So I'm not really worried about defense. It's the offense, man. You can't win if you don't score. You know what I'm saying? And what, 13 points to you South Florida is not, good. It's not good at all. Like that's a team we should have boat raced. It should have been 30 something at halftime to the point where you don't have a reason to play Jalen
Agreed.
Miro because the game's over already for the starters anyway. That's when you can evaluate your,
Mm-hmm.
second and third stringers to see who's gonna help you down the line and say some injuries happen. But we ain't even have time for that. That's crazy to me. Crazy to think that the starters were playing in the fourth quarter of a team that on paper or even in terms of like player for player, we was way better than. So, like I said, man, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, my expectations go week to week. So right now, I'm not feeling good. But after this weekend and we do this recap, I could be like, national championship, here we come. But week to week for me, dog, I ain't even gonna tell you that. So uh one game I wanna ask you about, man, is how do you feel about Deion Sanders now? After what we got 3 weeks of Deion Sanders right now, and he's 3-0. My take before you get into it was once they play a disciplined team, I felt like there might have been a drop off, you know, because a disciplined team is going to be hard to beat, even if they don't have no talent. You know what I'm saying? So, how you feel?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I wasn't expecting it. Neither one of us were expecting to be that close. Colorado State played them pretty well, but I was still impressed that they were able to keep the foot on the gas and be able to finish the game strong through some adversity. Obviously, they had some controversial things happen in that game,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm still pretty high on them. But obviously, this week is going to be a big test because you're going to be playing Bo Nix in Oregon. I want to say
Okay.
so.
Okay.
That's obviously
Yeah.
Colorado's got really good athletes. Oregon's always got really good athletes. They're
Yeah.
always really good at recruiting. They've always got good speed at skill positions. And I know we talk smack about Bo Nix, but when Bo Nix is on, he's on. Not saying he's top five, but like I'm just saying, like when he cuts out the mistakes and he's on, he's gonna give you problems. So I mean, I think that'll be a real test of where they're at because I'm not saying the other teams were pushovers, but they're not to the same caliber. Oregon's a 5-star program, 4 5 star almost, yeah. So pretty much like they're an elite program.
Yeah. Yeah.
If Colorado, I'm not even sure if I'd pick them to win that game. But even if they don't win that game and they keep it competitive and they don't get ran over and stomped on by Oregon, that's a good sign to me. That's okay. Look, maybe we're not there yet because obviously they still got to work out some kind of kinks. Because I mean, you completely have a turnover roster, so you're gonna have some kind of things here and
Yeah.
there. You're not gonna go 12-0 with a rebuilt team in year one. It's not gonna happen. But I'm hopeful. I think they'll play really good against Oregon, and you never know, dude. College football is crazy. They could pull one out. You never know. But do I expect it? No, but I think they're going to play a lot better than what a lot of the critics think they're going to play for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, since we're speaking Pac-12, man, if we're talking Heisman front runner right now, the person has to be Michael Penix Jr., bro. Like, dude has been out of this world, out of his mind. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, Shador Sanders has been really good too. But Michael Penix has been absolutely just destroying people, man. Like they ain't playing down to the competition at all. So I
Mm-hmm.
think he got to be the front runner right now. Obviously, you got a couple cupcakes mixed in there, man. But I mean, to play at that level against cupcakes, man, like you're not playing down to the competition, which is a good trait for a team, unlike Bama.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like I said, man, it's a good trait. Good trait. But one game I'll talk about too is Georgia versus South Carolina, man. I told you that was gonna be a good game. I told you it was, man. I told you. I said if
Yeah,
Spencer
I agree.
Rattler, if
I
Spencer
agree.
Rattler can play like he's supposed to, he's a really good quarterback, man. He gave them trouble, man. But they forgot there was a whole nother half to play. And they just wet the bed completely after that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Georgia start ranking up that pressure on them, and they act like they ain't never seen that
Mm-hmm.
before. So I was like, yeah, it's over with. Especially when Georgia
Mm-hmm.
scored to like when they first got the ball in the second half, when they went straight down the field. I was like, oh, y'all in trouble, man. But it says a lot though when they got a walk on running back getting like starting minutes. Like dude got to be a bad dude, man. They got a
Mm-hmm.
walk on running back playing, getting like starter minutes, and he cold, man. He remind me of like a Danny Whitehead, Woodhead or something. Like, I mean, he got moves. He run hard. He don't take no stuff. I mean, he can catch too. I'm like, bruh, you gotta be a bad walk on to be coming in there playing starter minutes on Georgia. I'm like, shoot, man, we can't even figure out quarterback, and they got a walk on playing running back.
We we had a guy like that last year who
Ooh,
was getting most of our starting minutes at Josh Williams. He,
okay.
he was taking almost all until he got hurt.
Yeah, but I mean, you mentioned on one of your videos that John Emery wasn't playing. So I was like, shoot, he gotta play.
So that is that's a story in itself, man. He's had issues with his academics continuously, and now I don't even know where we stand because they said he was a go, and now it's like, well, what in the world is going on? I mean, we've got really good depth at tailback anyway, but man, like, what a waste of talent, dude. He's a 5-star, regarded as almost the top tailback in the country in his recruiting class. And obviously, he's shown that he can be that guy. He's bulked up. He's obviously had issues with fumbling a little bit last year, but man, like, I don't know what to say about that. But we should talk about that game because that game did not go the way that me or you expected.
True, 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 true. You go first, man. You go first. Break it down. Break it down.
So I didn't get to physically watch much of this game, but I'll just go from just a play-by-play and highlight perspective. Dude, it looked like Mississippi State wasn't ready for this game at all, dude. LSU's defense seemed like they closed the coffin on them early, and Jaden Daniels played very well from a completion perspective. Man, Neighbors had over 200 yards receiving. Man, it just seemed like that offense just couldn't be stopped. What me and you expected Mississippi State's offense to be, that's what LSU's offense was. It's like they just finally woke up. And that's very impressive to be able to
Mm.
go into that stadium, to be able to play like that against that team. I'm not saying Mississippi State's a powerhouse, but that's like we've said, it's a difficult place to play. You're going against a prolific quarterback, probably one of the best passers in the country, and you completely shut him down. Like, I did not expect that. I didn't expect Daniels to throw all over them. I didn't expect them to rack up yards like that, but I didn't expect LSU's defense to clamp them to the fullest. Like, they did not let up. They kept their foot on the neck the whole game, and they ran away with it.
I mean, yeah, it was a boat race in my opinion. I mean, we definitely didn't think that. But I told you, in the other episode, man, that if they lose elements of the pirate, they're not gonna
Mm.
be a good team.
Yeah,
Like,
because you're not playing to his full. You're not playing to your quarterback's full potential. He's an air
yeah,
raid
man.
quarterback.
That's one thing that Mike Leach, rest in peace. That's one thing that he was gonna do. Like, I mean, he's not a Dan Mullen. He ain't gonna take Dak Prescott and turn him into a SEC star or how he worked with Tim Tebow or how he worked with Nick Fitzgerald. That's not what Mike Leach is or was. He needed a signal caller, somebody that could throw the football, you know what I'm saying, to the open man. We gonna five wide it, we gonna four wide it, we gonna maybe have a running back some of the time, but we gonna empty set, five wide, throw the ball to the open man. And it just seemed like, Arnett, you know what I'm saying, he ain't really want to do that to me. You know what I'm saying? He went away from what really worked, you know what I'm saying? And you gotta think Mike Leach recruited half of them guys on there. So all you can do is really play to their strengths and not really change
Mm-hmm.
nothing for real. You know what I'm
That's what I'm
saying? Like
saying.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he doesn't have the terminology because if I'm not mistaken, I think he's a defensive guy. But I
But you
mean,
bring in an offensive coordinator,
yeah,
what
that's
is
what I was
going
saying.
on? Like,
That's what I was saying. Bring in somebody that's an air raid kind of person, you know what I'm saying, that has a way to call plays. You don't have to do it. I mean,
because
shoot.
you've got a freaking quarterback, dude. You've got a quarterback that can sling it on anybody.
That's what I'm saying,
But you
man.
got to
So
play to his strengths.
yeah, so I was surprised that the game really got out of hand because
I was too.
I was expecting them to at least put up some points on LSU, you know what I'm saying? At least attack their weak point of which is their secondary, you know what I'm saying, at this point of the season. So I expect them to do that and they really didn't, man. And it surprised me. So I just kind of think that they just kind of want to move past, I guess, that Mike Leach way of doing things because Arnett's a new coach and he kind of want to do it his way. But I mean, dude, like the SEC, even though they're teams with the spread concept, man, there aren't really many teams that are going full
No,
air raid. You feel
they
me?
don't. They
Like
don't. And you have a quarterback who could throw
nobody's
the best of them.
nobody in the SEC, not even like Mizzou when they first got in the SEC, took the SEC by storm because they were an air raid team, mixed in with
Mm-hmm.
some power football too. But the root of it was an air raid, and the teams in the
Mm-hmm.
SEC weren't ready for that. That goes. We beat
Mm-hmm.
Georgia a few times. We
They
beat
brought that Big 12 style of play. They brought
we
that
beat
over, and nobody
yeah
was
we
ready
beat
for that.
Tennessee, and we beat Florida a few times in that early stage of SEC expansion. So
Mm-hmm.
the the air raid is still effective, especially if you got a good trigger man. Man, I always say that, man. That's why that's why I give 2019 LSU a lot of credit, man, because they had a really good trigger man. You know what I'm saying? A lesser quarterback doesn't go undefeated and win a national
Mm-hmm.
championship. Without having a good trigger man, you don't win. And 2020 Bama, we had Mac Jones. Mac Jones was a crazy trigger man. He knew exactly how to throw it, where to throw it, and when to throw it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We luck up and have Bryce Young the next year, which he was a crazy guy too, man. So you have these guys, you need a trigger man, to run that type of scheme. And when you don't, man, it just looked like it looked like that. But you have to have a coach that understands what he's doing. And
It's just
you guys had that with Joe Brady and Nussmeier. Like that was a crazy conglomerate of offensive knowledge. I mean, then we had Sarkeesian, who's a mega mind of himself. So I mean, you look at things like that, man, and I just don't think Mississippi State has that, man. And if
they
they
got a
don't,
trigger man. They just don't have the play calling.
that's what I'm saying. If they don't have the play caller, like you gotta do something else, man, because y'all got talent. It's not like that, and he can throw the ball, so give him a chance to do that. But it didn't
Mm-hmm.
look good at all, and it don't look good for them anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, uh,
Unfortunately,
yeah. So it's sad to see because I didn't expect them to look that bad.
no.
But like I said, man, like I said we got some other games to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
One of those games is Mizzou and Kansas State, bro. Mizzou 3-0, dog.
Mm-hmm.
What's the deal? What's the deal?
I
3-0.
don't know, man. They're playing higher than everybody's expectations. I
You
just
know
want to know
they.
what's going to happen. I just want to see how they react to adversity when SEC play opens. Like any other year, any other team, once SEC opens up, that's who's going to separate the men from the boys, who's going to put their boots on, and who's going to fall at the wayside, man. And I would really like to see them step it up. I mean, they've had a rough patch the last 5 years or so, but I think they've got talent. And I think they've got good coaches, man. I just think it's going to be, are you going to want it more than them? I mean, the East is not going to say it's up in the air, but I mean, they could surprise a lot of people for sure. I mean, we seen
Hey,
what South Carolina did last week. So, I mean,
I think they can. I think they can get a couple wins. They can get a couple wins, bro. We talking SEC schedule, dog. I think they can get. I think get what's the team? I'm not gonna say Georgia, but who's another team in there? I think they get South Carolina because I
yeah,
think
they
I
could beat,
think we can
I think they
score.
could beat South
I
Carolina.
think we can score with them. I think Florida's up for grabs. I think that's a
Mm-hmm.
winnable game. I mean, Tennessee even look up and down, so that's a winnable game, especially on
Mm-hmm.
defense. I don't think they that good on defense this year. You know what I'm saying? And although they have a trigger man that can throw like 100 yards, like they don't look the same way. You know what I'm saying? It don't look as
Mm-hmm.
smooth as it did last year. Last year they was just it looked like Hendon Hooker knew that offense like the back of his hand. He just
Mm-hmm.
knew where to go with the ball and it was just smooth.
But it's a different style of quarterback, too. You got to think. Hooker had the arm, but Hooker could improvise with his legs, extend
Yeah.
plays, get out of the pocket, roll out. Joe Milton's not that same model of quarterback for sure.
Yeah.
He's got a
So
hell of an arm.
yeah. So I think shoot, I think every SEC East conference game they play this year is winnable,
It's one.
except for Georgia. Like
Did you never know, dude? 'Cause, I mean, didn't Missouri run the table with Georgia last year?
yeah, that was hey, look, for people to understand, I'm a Bama fan and I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, so I support the Mizzou Tigers as well. So that was a crazy game too. I was like, bro, we could get this upset, dog. We ain't gotta worry about Georgia no more. We can just sneak into the playoffs at number 4, and we got Bryce Young, and then we decided to lose to y'all.
Dramatic fashion.
We decided to lose to y'all, and that was it, bro.
Yeah, and then we decided to drop one to A&M, so we're even.
Yeah. So, but like I said, man, it was a crazy week, man, of games, man. Obviously, we got some crazy some crazy not upsets, but really good, play from a lot of good teams, man. So like I said, we'll do our preview show later. It'll come out later this week. But I wanna get some we talked about some Heisman things, and I wanna get your top players, man, that you would consider Heisman candidates right now, man. If we, as we in week 3.
So I mean, we've already spoken on two of them, but I think like Michael Penix is up there for sure. He's on a mission, apparently. I think he really wants to make that playoff, and I think they've been pushing for that for the last couple of years anyway. Shadur is up there. Just what he's been able to do with that team against those teams, I think he's a high name as well.
Yep.
You got to keep Caleb Williams and Drake May's name up there as well, man.
Oh yeah.
You have to.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
a sleeper team, a sleeper player that like I don't think it's gonna happen. But I think you need to keep Travis Hunter's name in there, dude, because if he continues to perform on both sides of the ball at a high enough level, and he's putting up statistics there for sure.
Okay, okay. So I mean, like I said, he's actually gonna be out for a couple weeks after that dirty hit he took. So
That okay, yeah, that is true. That is
so
true.
so I mean, look, if he comes back faster, and can continue to do that, then yeah, he will get an invite to New York. I mean, I don't care if they have to make it 5 finalists like they did one year. He could still get an invite, especially if he can get like close to 1,000 yards and still do what he got to do on defense, man. So I think he should get an invite if he can keep playing. But that took a hit in my opinion. But like I said, I wanted to get your Heisman finalist right now after the season ended because I was interested. And one person I want to highlight is Drake May, man. He started off the season, man. Like I said, we're both high on Drake May. We think he's probably the best quarterback in college football, especially when we talk about throwing the football. He just got it. And
Mm-hmm.
last few games, man, he just been dealing, man. Just like I told you, he make it look easy. Like anytime you get a 400 game, ain't nobody talking about it for real. It's just easy. You know what I'm saying? And he done beat South Carolina to start the season. And then, what I'm saying, he just keep on winning. So I think they are in a good spot, man. They're in a real good spot to make the ACC.
He's won the Heisman for a reason.
Yeah, man, the ACC is gonna look real different, man. Especially with Clemson taking that L to Duke earlier this year, or earlier this season. So, it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
look real different, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Clemson's looking like some food right now. They're not looking like they used to. So, but I mean, what they played, I don't know if this was this week or last week, but they played somebody like a SES school or something, and they ain't look good in the first half. But the second half, they looked like they were supposed to look with Garrett Riley and Cade Klubnik playing. So like I said, man, I still got hope for him. I think, once he gets comfortable, maybe. I don't know. I like him a lot. But one player that I think is a dark horse right now is Jordan Travis, man, from Florida State,
Ooh.
man. I think
Hey, another one too, bro.
like dude is smooth, man. Smooth, man. Like I said, I know I use that adjective a lot to describe players, man, but having a smoothness, a calmness, a suddenness with your decision making as a quarterback in college, I think separates the pro player from the player that might make the 53-man roster or something like that. Like his decision making within the
Mm-hmm.
offense is just quick. You know what I'm saying? He hike the ball, he see what he gotta see, and he go from there. It's just quick. It's not much thinking, it's not much moving. And I think offensive line play has a lot to do with it because when you got blocking, it's easy to think.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm not gonna get my head knocked
Mm-hmm.
off, so I don't have to worry about those things. So but I like
Mm-hmm.
what he's doing, man. Like I said, I think he took they played Wake Forest, I believe, last week. So that game was up and down. But Jordan Travis, I think he got hurt before halftime or something like that. Then I turned the channel. But hopefully he's healthy and we just keep going. He keeps going like he's supposed to, man. But I think he's a dark horse for the Heisman, man, because like I said, it's teams like Florida State, man, when you win and get them back to where they were supposed to go, like, you supposed to be in the Heisman conversation, dog. I mean, you doing
Right.
something different, so
Well, hey, if we talking about teams that are leading their team somewhere, that's Riley Leonard, bro.
true.
We cannot sleep on Riley Leonard, dude. I talked about him in our preseason. Like, dude is scary, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna disagree with you, man. I'm not, man. I think he has some skills, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. But the way Jalen Milroe started the season off, I was like, look out. Look out, man. But you know what? I'm not even gonna discount the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna say he can't like make a run at the Heisman because you think about the whole thing, and your boy Jaden Daniels too. I put him in here too. So obviously, the season starts off, you like 2-1, right? Really not supposed. You don't want to lose any games, but you still
Mm-hmm.
have SEC schedule left. And if my calculations are correct, that's the toughest conference to play in. So if you start stacking up performances like, like we start talking like multiple games, like Jane Daniels did. 3, 4 touchdowns passing, 2 rushing. You know what I'm saying? You start stacking them performances up game after game after game to the point where we late in the season and it's starting to get a little close. You know what I'm saying? Now we're looking at the teams you beat, how you played against those teams. Now we start to kind of look at it with a magnifying glass. You know what I'm saying? So right now,
Mm-hmm.
a Penix looks good. Drake May looks good. Obviously, Caleb Williams is the returning Heisman winner, so he obviously has a leg up on a lot of people right now because he won it, right? So he looks good. But as we get, further into the season, man, it's starting to start looking a lot different, man. And I wouldn't be surprised to see both of our quarterbacks getting some looks, man. Especially when we start getting into that Heisman conversation, man. Because I think both of our quarterbacks have the ability to get 10 rushing touchdowns this year. 10. And the more yards you get, the better it looks when you start looking at the voters, man.
He
So
ran for like 800 or 900 yards last year, and that
right,
wasn't even a perfect year. So I mean,
right. And he missed a couple games, didn't he? He missed like 1 or 2 games. So like you start looking at that, like he could have easily got 1,000. And I know the fact that like Milrow is capable of doing 1,000 in like 10 games you got left. Like he can easily do that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it'd be cool. Actually, I think my prediction for our schedule, even though I said week to week, I think he gonna be unleashed, dog. I don't think they're gonna put a handcuff on him no more because you can't turn him into a
no,
pass.
because season's a long. You you go forward.
Yeah, so I mean, you know he gonna run. So it's not injuries that I'm really worried about because he's a big guy. He's not little like Bryce was. So I'm like, he's a big put together dude. So I mean, shoot, just do what Dan Mullen did for Nick Fitzgerald. I mean, Nick Fitzgerald he passed for like 2,000 yards and ran for like 1,500 almost. You know what I'm saying? Like he joined the 2020 club. Milrow can do that. He ain't got to pass for 3,000. As long as we can run with him and mix it up, we'd be good. So, but it starts up front. But I think he can get there, and I think Jaden Daniels can too, man.